Okay, what's up everybody? This is Brad, aka Two Fitted, coming to you with another quick video. This one's going to be a little different than my usual videos. What I'm going to do is go over my initial impressions for Final Fantasy 15. Just came out, I just started playing it last night, got to play it for a few hours, and just want to kind of go over how I feel about the game. Now, but before we jump into that, I do want to go ahead and kind of let you know where I come from in terms of my gaming background and what I kind of look forward to in games. So for that, I do want to let you know that I'm a Final Fantasy fan. I'm not one of the diehards or the purists or anything like that. I didn't get into the series until Final Fantasy 7. That's the first one I played. And the first time I played it, I think I was like 9 or 10, and I didn't like the game at all. But at that time, that's when I was just really into just the gameplay. I didn't read anything. I was just like, let's just get through the game. So I didn't really give it a shot. Fast forward to when I was 13, one of my friends kind of reintroduced me to the game. He's like, hey, you gotta play this game, it's amazing. So I gave it a shot, and when I actually played it when I was 13, I was hooked. Like, I was living in Georgia at the time, and I'm from Maryland, so moved to a couple states, so North Carolina, and then we moved to Georgia. And while I was playing that game, I remember my grandmother was calling me, telling me it was time to come eat, and I forgot which state I was in. I was trying to think, which room is this, which house is this, and it took me a moment to get myself together because I was that wrapped up in the game. So just want to kind of break. Now the weird part is I didn't kind of continue off of when I finished playing that game because I love the game, love the story, was really hooked on it. And that's really what got me into role-playing games in general, well, especially JRPGs. And I didn't continue with that. I didn't go to Final Fantasy 8, 9. I didn't go to those because around the time when I was playing it, PS2 had just come out. So I was all about the next gen at the time. So I kind of jumped full steam into PS2 and didn't really give those other games a shot. Kind of wish I would have done it, especially when it was so fresh, but I didn't. So I did play Final Fantasy X when that came out. And I love that because that was like the next step. It was a great presentation with it. The story is pretty decent. It was a pretty good game. And Final Fantasy 11 was online. I played a little bit, but I didn't really enjoy the controls, so didn't give that much of a chance there. And then when we get to 12, that kind of suffered the same fate because it came out real close to when PS3 was coming out, and I was kind of finished with that generation, so I kind of jumped ahead. I played a little bit, and it was pretty fun, but I was already next gen, so didn't really give that too much of a shot. 14, I liked it in the beginning. Well, I kind of liked it at first, but it was too linear. And I mean, no, not 14. 14, that was, I meant 13, sorry. 13 was a little too linear. That one, it started off way too linear, but I didn't really even get far enough to get past that point to when it does open up. A lot of my friends were telling me it's a great game and it gets better, but I was like, it's too far into it till it gets better, so I didn't really continue that. 14 came out, was terrible. Then they fixed it, and I gave it a little shot, but not enough after that. But it was too many restrictions when it first came out. And now we're here at 15. So earlier ones, I didn't really play those. But that's just a little quick breakdown in terms of games. And I don't want to say like I'm an expert on games or anything. I mean, I do have my bachelor's in video game design, but that definitely doesn't make me an expert or anything like that. But yeah, we want to go ahead and get into thoughts about this game, Final Fantasy 15. Alright, now before we actually talk about the actual game in terms of like gameplay and everything, I do want to talk about the setup for the game. We've had a lot of waiting. This game it's like 10 plus years. It was talking about it was going to be Final Fantasy 13 Versus, and that's what it was supposed to be, but it kept being delayed and pushed back, and all these things kept happening, and they finally changed it up. But one thing I do like, they didn't just kind of leave that and kind of have the hype keep building. They did change some things in the game, but what I like is the lore for the world. Before the game came out, a lot of people know what's going on, know about the world, which not a lot of games does that, and especially Final Fantasy games, they don't tend to do that. But they have the standalone, or they have a movie, and they have the anime. I did watch the movie, and I love the movie, The King's Glaive. That was a great movie. I think they did a good job with that, and it gives you a nice introduction to the world. And as far as the anime, I actually didn't get to watch all of it, but from what I saw, I did enjoy it, so I will definitely go and finish that on up. But there's a lot of content out there for you to kind of get into the world before you even jump into the game, which you don't need to do, but it's pretty cool if you do. And the fact that they have that option is really nice as well. Now, the world, they definitely have a different world for the different, for Final Fantasy, like different games, except for when they did like the 10-2 and the 13 and 13 Part 2 and all those. So for this one, they definitely have a Final Fantasy-esque world. So it's just a nice blend of fantasy and sci-fi, and it's definitely a pretty cool environment. It looks amazing on PS4. I've been playing on the Pro, still only on 1080p, but still looks very good. Definitely love the visuals. The character design, all of that looks pretty good. But one of the things that shines the most to me is the gameplay, because generally with Final Fantasy games, it's turn-based gameplay, and a lot of people don't like those type of games. And the JRPG, Japanese role-playing games, have kind of stayed with that for so long. There's a few here and there that would branch off, but this is the first, I think, first Final Fantasy mainstream that kind of broke that, and it's pulling a lot of elements from Western RPGs, which is very cool, because it shows that they're not building in a glass box. Like, they're actually looking at other things, and they're taking what they're seeing and learning and adapting that to their franchise, which is amazing. So far, the pacing on the game has been really good. It starts off pretty slow, kind of builds you up into getting used to the characters, the gameplay, the mechanics, and things of that nature in the world, and then it kind of builds up more and more. And I don't want to get into any of the story elements or anything, but so far it's definitely something that I'm interested in trying to find out more on what's going on. And they even have some pretty cool parts where you're using a car, and you could either drive the car or you can do auto drive. And they have different abilities where you can actually gain experience while you're doing auto drive, so that's pretty cool as well. But I just want to kind of give an initial impressions of the game. I think they're doing a great job. It kind of revitalized the series for me, because I was kind of getting a little tired of it. Definitely the gameplay was kind of a little stale. 13 I thought was going to do that, but it was a little too linear, and they went a little too mainstream, appealing to too many people. But I believe with this game, Final Fantasy 15, they're actually appealing to the role-playing gamer, and not just JRPG player, but they're going towards a Western market, and it's definitely a lot that they're doing very well in this game. It definitely looks good, and definitely stay tuned for my full review after I give it some time. I don't want to rush through the game. I do want to take my time. I want to explore as much as I can, so it may be a while till I get the full review out, but just a little quick thought on what I'm thinking about the game so far. It's definitely a good game, and if you like role-playing games at all, I definitely suggest to give it a shot. Kind of reminds me of like Elder Scrolls mixed with Final Fantasy, basically. It's definitely a good one. I love how they're pulling different elements. They even have some BioWare-esque elements into the game, like with the chat system here and there. Not very strong, but it's a little hints there. But yeah, overall, I'm liking it so far. But I'd like to thank you for tuning in to my initial impressions for the game. Please leave like, comments if you like this type of video, if you want me to continue to do these type of videos. If you have any suggestions for types of videos, let me know as well. And also, let me know what you think of the game so far if you picked it up, and if you haven't, let me know if you plan to get it anytime soon. So, but as always, I'd like to thank you for tuning in, and have a good one. Peace.